Hello and welcome back, coin lovers. You're watching GS Coins, your go-to destination for everything rare, historical, and valuable in the world of coin collecting. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a casual enthusiast, or someone who just found an old coin in their drawer and got curious, you've come to the right place. Here at GS Coins, we explore the fascinating stories behind ordinary-looking coins, reveal their hidden worth, and help you become a smarter collector, one coin at a time. In today's video, we're diving deep into the story of the 1998 Australian 10-cent coin, a coin you've probably seen countless times, but may not realize holds more value than meets the eye, especially if it's in good condition. We'll talk about its design, production details, historical importance, current market value, and why it might just be worth more than 10 cents in today's collector market. So sit back, hit that like button, and let's explore the hidden treasure inside this tiny silver piece. The journey of the Australian 10-cent coin began back in 1966, when Australia made the bold shift from the imperial system of pounds, shillings, and pence to decimal currency, a transformation that modernized the nation's economy. The 10-cent coin was introduced to replace the old shilling and, interestingly, retained the same size and shape. Since its first release, the 10-cent coin has become a staple in Australian currency. Though it has maintained the same reverse design all these years, some specific mint years, like 1998, have gained increased attention from collectors. Whether because of production details, changes in design portraits, or simply their condition rarity, these coins have become quite collectible in the numismatic world. The 1998 10-cent coin features one of Australia's most beloved and enduring designs. On the reverse side, you'll find the stunning superb lyrebird, an iconic Australian native bird known for its elaborate tail feathers and ability to mimic sounds. This intricate design was created by Stuart Devlin, who served as Australia's official goldsmith and coin designer for many years. It's a beautiful symbol of Australian wildlife and culture. Turning to the obverse, the 1998 coin is particularly significant because it was the last year to feature the Raphael Makhlouf portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which had been in use since 1985. The following year, a new portrait by Ian Rank Broadley was introduced. This change alone makes the 1998 issue more notable to collectors. From a technical perspective, metal composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, weight, 5.65 grams, diameter, 23.60 millimeters, edge, milled minted by Royal Australian Mint, total mintage, around 57 million coins. While that might sound like a huge number, keep in mind that most of these coins were circulated and are now scratched, worn down, or lost. That's why finding a high-grade 1998 coin is much harder than you think. Let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. How much is the 1998 Australian 10-cent coin worth in today's market? If your coin is in circulated but decent condition, meaning it has some wear but all major features are still visible, then it's typically worth around its face value, 10 cents to maybe 20 cents Australian, or roughly 10 to 15 US cents. However, if you're lucky enough to find one in uncirculated or near mint condition, you're looking at a different story altogether. A 1998 10-cent coin in pristine condition can sell for between 2 to 5 USD, and if it's in mint state, MS65 or higher, with no visible scratches, full luster, and perfect detail, it might even fetch 10 to 15 USD $15 or more, especially from serious collectors or through certified auctions. Even more so, coins that are sealed in mint sets or discovered from untouched mint rolls are prized and can command premium prices. Now let's talk about something that always gets collectors excited: error coins. While the 1998 10-cent coin isn't widely known for major mint errors, there have been occasional reports of off-center strikes, cuds, or die cracks. These errors are rare and usually found only by those who carefully inspect their coins. If you suspect your coin has an unusual error, it's a good idea to get it appraised or professionally graded. An error coin, especially one from a common year like 1998, can easily jump in value, sometimes reaching $50, $100, or even more depending on the rarity and the demand. Whether you're just starting your collection or have a growing passion for coins, here are a few helpful tips to make the most of your hobby. Store your coins properly. Avoid touching them with your bare hands. Use gloves or hold them by the edges to avoid damage. Use clear holders or albums to protect them from dust, moisture, and scratches. Research before selling. A quick online search might surprise you with how valuable your coin is. Join collector groups and forums. The community can help identify errors, value your coins, and even help you trade. Always check both sides of your coins. Sometimes the smallest detail can mean the biggest value. Remember, a good condition 10-cent coin today could be a hidden gem in just a few years. So hang on to the best ones. So there you have it, the full story of the 1998 Australian 10-cent coin. It may not be the rarest coin in your pocket, but its historical context, design value, and collectible potential make it a must-know for anyone interested in Australian currency. Whether you're keeping it as part of your collection or hunting for that flawless, uncirculated piece, this little coin carries more worth than just face value. It carries a piece of Australia's monetary and cultural history. Next up, the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin. This particular coin might seem like just another part of the Australian currency system, but as always in the world of numismatics, there's much more to it than meets the eye. From its design features to its current market value, we'll break it all down for you. So, grab your magnifying glass because it's time to examine the details that make this coin valuable. Before we dive into the specifics of the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin, let's take a moment to appreciate the history of the 10-cent piece itself. Introduced in 1966, the 10-cent coin was part of Australia's move to decimal currency, marking a new era for the country's monetary system. Since then, this coin has undergone various changes in design, but its size and denomination have remained relatively the same. The 10-cent coin has always been an important piece of Australia's daily life, featuring various designs over the years that celebrate the country's wildlife, people, and heritage. The 2005 version of this coin, like many others, played a vital role in everyday transactions. But there's more to it than just its place in history. Now, let's get into the design of the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin. On the reverse, we have the beautiful design of the superb lyrebird, a native Australian bird known for its exceptional mimicry skills. This design has been a staple of the 10-cent coin since its introduction in 1966 and was crafted by the talented Australian artist Stuart Devlin. The lyrebird represents not only the beauty of Australian wildlife, but also the intricate artistry that goes into Australian coinage. On the obverse, the coin features the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, who replaced Raphael Maklouf's portrait in the early 1990s. The 2005 10-cent coin specifically uses this more modern version of the Queen's likeness, which was introduced in 1998. The technical details of the 2005 10-cent coin are as follows. Metal composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel weight, 5.65 grams, diameter, 23.60 millimeters, edge, milled, minted by Royal Australian Mint Mintage, approximately 56.7 million coins in 2005. Now, the mintage number might seem high, but when you start considering the overall condition of the coin, a lot of these coins will be worn down or damaged. And that's where things start to get interesting for collectors. Let's get into the market value of the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin today. If your coin is in circulated condition, meaning it's been used in everyday transactions and has a few scratches or wear, you can expect it to be worth roughly its face value, which is 10 cents Australian or around 5 to 7 US cents. But if you're lucky enough to find one in uncirculated or near mint condition, the value of your coin could rise dramatically. In mint condition, the 2005 10-cent coin can fetch anywhere from 1 to 3 Australian dollars, around 50 cents to 2 US dollars, depending on the quality and the collector's market demand. However, if you come across a perfect example, in gem uncirculated condition with full luster and no visible marks, it could easily be worth 5 to 10 Australian dollars, about 3 to 6 US dollars. Coins like these are in demand for collectors who appreciate flawless examples of standard issue currency, so the condition is key when determining value. Fun fact: coins that were minted in special rolls or as part of proof sets can often fetch higher prices at auctions, sometimes reaching $20 or more depending on the buyer and the market. Now, what about error coins? In the world of numismatics, error coins are a big deal, and the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin is no exception. While this particular coin isn't renowned for significant errors, there have been occasional reports of off-center strikes or die cracks on some of the coins from this year. If you happen to come across a misstruck coin or one with noticeable minting errors, you could be holding a rare and valuable piece. These error coins often attract premium prices, sometimes hundreds of dollars depending on the error's rarity. Off-center strikes, double strikes, and cuds are highly sought after by error coin collectors, so if you think you've found one, it's worth having it appraised by a professional. Before we wrap up, here are a few tips for you to make the most of your coin collection and potentially find treasures like the 2005 10-cent coin. Inspect all your coins. Look for signs of wear, minting errors, and unusual features that could add value. Store your coins carefully. Make sure they're protected from the elements in coin capsules or albums to preserve their condition. Research market prices. Prices fluctuate, so staying up to date with auction prices and collector demand is essential. Join online forums and groups. Connecting with other collectors can help you get a better sense of what's valuable and how to grow your collection. Don't rush to sell. Sometimes coins increase in value over time, so consider holding on to certain pieces until they're more valuable. When you know what you have, you can make better decisions, and who knows, you might just have a rare gem hiding in your collection. Narrator. So there you have it. The 2005 Australian 10-cent coin, a small but fascinating piece of Australia's currency history. While it may not have the sky-high value of some rarer coins, its design, history, and potential for error variations make it an exciting piece to keep an eye on. Next up, the 2010 Australian 10-cent coin, a coin that may seem like a regular part of your change, but has a fascinating story and, yes, a value in today's market. Let's explore the history, design, and market value of this particular coin. Let's get started. Before we talk about the 2010 10-cent coin, let's take a step back and appreciate the history of this coin. Introduced in 1966, the Australian 10-cent coin was part of Australia's transition from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to the new decimal currency system. Over the decades, the 10-cent coin has become a familiar and reliable part of everyday transactions, circulating widely across the country. The design has evolved over the years, but the superb lyrebird has consistently been featured on the reverse side since its inception. This bird, with its tail feathers spread wide, symbolizes Australia's unique wildlife. The coin has always had a deep connection to the nation's natural heritage, and in 2010, this coin continued that tradition. Now let's talk about the 2010 coin specifically and why it stands out. One of the most striking features of the 2010 Australian 10-cent coin is its reverse design, which depicts the superb lyrebird. The design by Stuart Devlin, a renowned artist who has shaped much of Australia's coinage, shows the bird in its full glory, with its tail feathers spread wide in a display of color and elegance. The lyrebird is widely recognized in Australia for its remarkable ability to mimic the sounds of its environment, from car alarms to chainsaws. This bird has become a symbol of Australia's unique and diverse fauna. On the obverse of the coin, we find the standard portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait has been in use since 1998 and is featured on most Australian coins. Now let's take a closer look at the technical specifications of the 2010 10-cent coin. Metal composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight: 5.65 grams. Diameter: 23.60 millimeters. Edge: milled minted by Royal Australian Mint Mintage, approximately 23.7 million coins in 2010. Although 23.7 million may sound like a high mintage number, it's essential to remember that the condition of the coin greatly influences its value. Even with a relatively high mintage, collectors value coins based on their quality, which is why condition is so crucial in the market. Now let's move on to the current market value of the 2010 Australian 10-cent coin. Like all modern coins, its value largely depends on its condition. Let's break down the potential values you might encounter. If you have a circulated 2010 10-cent coin, meaning it has been in regular use and shows some signs of wear, it will likely be worth its face value. This means around 10 cents Australian, or approximately 5 to 7 US cents. These coins are common in circulation, so you won't see much variation in price unless they're in particularly exceptional condition. However, if you happen to have a mint condition or uncirculated coin, the value can increase. In excellent condition, these coins might be worth between 1 to 3 Australian dollars, roughly 70 cents to 2 US dollars, depending on the market and specific demand at the time. A perfect uncirculated coin, with no scratches, tarnishing, or other signs of wear, could fetch around 4 to 5 Australian dollars, approximately 2.5 to 3 US dollars. Now let's talk about proof coins. If you're lucky enough to have a 2010 proof coin, especially one from a proof set released by the Royal Australian Mint, its value could be higher. Proof coins are made with a specialized minting process, which gives them a mirror-like finish. These coins are generally sold in special sets and are highly prized by collectors, often reaching prices of 10 to 20 Australian dollars, roughly 7 to 14 US dollars. The 2010 coin, although not among the rarest in circulation, still has a solid place in the market for collectors looking for specific years, designs, or those who focus on collecting coins from certain mintage years. Now, for all you collectors out there, error coins are always an exciting topic. While the 2010 Australian 10-cent coin doesn't have any major known errors in the mintage, it's important to keep an eye out for those unique and rare occurrences that make certain coins especially valuable. Common errors that can significantly increase a coin's value include off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the coin; double strikes, where the coin has been struck more than once; die cracks, where the coin shows visible cracks in the design due to the aging of the minting dies. These types of errors are not as common, but they can make the 2010 coin worth a lot more, with prices reaching 15 to 30 Australian dollars, roughly 10 to 20 US dollars, depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. If you suspect you have an error coin, it's always a good idea to have it evaluated by a professional. Certified coin experts or numismatists can help you identify any potential errors and give you a better understanding of its worth. If you're serious about collecting coins, here are some tips to help you maximize your collection. Examine your coins carefully. Take the time to check for mint marks, variations in design, and signs of wear that might impact their value. Handle with care. Always use gloves or soft tools to avoid damaging the coin's surface. Store your coins properly. Use protective holders, albums, or cases to prevent damage from dirt, moisture, or scratching. Do your research. Keep an eye on auction prices, coin shows, and numismatic websites to stay up to date on the market. Patience. Remember, coin collecting is a long-term hobby. Coins can increase in value over time, especially if you have rare or unique examples in your collection. If you're unsure about a coin, never hesitate to consult a professional or reach out to a coin collecting community. Sometimes, the smallest details can make all the difference. To sum up, the 2010 Australian 10-cent coin may not be the rarest or most expensive coin in the market, but it still holds significant value for collectors, especially when found in excellent or uncirculated condition. Whether it's part of your everyday change or an addition to your collection, this coin tells a story of Australia's rich wildlife and its enduring connection to the country's currency system. Next up, the 2012 Australian 10-cent coin, a coin that's a part of Australia's iconic decimal currency series. We'll explore its design, history, and most importantly, its value in today's market. Let's get started. To understand the significance of the 2012 Australian 10-cent coin, let's first take a quick dive into its historical context. The Australian 10-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 as part of the country's transition to decimal currency. Since then, it has become one of the most widely circulated coins in Australia. The 10-cent coin has always carried a design that reflects Australia's national identity, with one of the most notable being the superb lyrebird, which has been featured on the reverse side of the coin for decades. Now, when we specifically talk about the 2012 coin, it's important to note that it is part of the regular circulation series from the Royal Australian Mint. While not a commemorative issue, the coin still carries significant value for collectors, especially when in high-quality condition. Looking at the design of the 2012 Australian 10-cent coin, we see the superb lyrebird on the reverse side. The design, crafted by Stuart Devlin, depicts the lyrebird in its stunning natural display. Its tail feathers are fanned out in an intricate, almost musical way, symbolizing its unique ability to mimic the sounds of its surroundings. This bird is an iconic figure in Australia's wildlife, and its inclusion on the coin ties the country's currency closely to its natural heritage. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait has been a standard design used on Australian coinage since 1998. Now let's take a quick look at the specifications of the 2012 10-cent coin. Metal composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight: 5.65 grams. Diameter: 23.60 millimeters. Edge: milled, minted by Royal Australian Mint Mintage. Approximately 23.6 million coins were produced in 2012. The 2012 coin had a slightly lower mintage than previous years, making it a bit rarer to find in uncirculated condition, but it still remains relatively easy to acquire in general circulation. Now, let's talk about the value of the 2012 Australian 10-cent coin in today's market. For many collectors, the value of a coin is often linked to its condition. Coins in circulated condition, those that have been used in everyday transactions, typically hold their face value. In the case of the 2012 coin, that means around 10 cents Australian dollars, roughly 5 to 7 US cents. However, if you happen to have an uncirculated coin, a coin that has never been used in everyday circulation and still holds its mint luster, its value can be much higher. In excellent or uncirculated condition, a 2012 10-cent coin could be worth around 1 to 3 Australian dollars, approximately 70 cents to 2 US dollars, depending on demand and the specific condition of the coin. If you're fortunate enough to have a proof coin, a coin that was specifically made for collectors with a mirror-like finish, it could fetch even more. Proof coins from the 2012 release might be worth around 10 to 15 Australian dollars, roughly 7 to 10 US dollars, especially if they are part of a special set or were produced in limited quantities. But it doesn't stop there. As with any coin, the market can fluctuate. And sometimes, certain coins can increase in value depending on factors like demand, rarity, and collector interest. So, if you've got a 2012 10-cent coin in your collection, it could be worth more than you think. For the dedicated coin collectors out there, error coins are always a point of interest. While the 2012 Australian 10-cent coin doesn't have any widely recognized major errors in its design, it's always worth keeping an eye out for potential misprints or production mistakes. These errors can sometimes add significant value to a coin, depending on how rare they are. Some common error types to look for include off-center strikes, where the design appears misaligned, double strikes, where the coin has been struck more than once, die cracks or cuds, which can appear as lines or additional raised areas on the coin's surface. If you happen to find a 2012 10-cent coin with any of these errors, it could be worth significantly more than the standard coin. Error coins, especially those that are rare or unusual, can often fetch prices upwards of 20 to 50 Australian dollars, around 14 to 35 US dollars, or even more, depending on the nature of the error. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, here are some valuable tips for maintaining and growing your coin collection. Always examine your coins closely. Look for unusual marks, imperfections, and variations that could make your coin unique. Store your coins properly. Protect your coins from scratches, dirt, and moisture by storing them in coin holders, albums, or slabs. Keep track of the mintage numbers. Coins with lower mintages tend to be more valuable, especially as time goes on. Monitor market trends. Follow auctions, online coin forums, and websites to stay updated on the current market values and trends in coin collecting. Seek professional evaluation. If you think you've found something special, it's always a good idea to consult with a certified numismatist for an accurate appraisal. Remember, coin collecting is not just about monetary value. It's also about appreciating the art, history, and craftsmanship behind each coin. In conclusion, the 2012 Australian 10-cent coin may not be a high-ticket item like some rare or vintage coins, but it's still a significant piece of Australian currency. Whether it's part of your everyday change or a gem in your collection, it's a coin with history, design, and, in certain conditions, value that can surprise you. Next up, the 2013 Australian 10-cent coin. We'll talk about its design, historical background, and most importantly, its value in today's market. Let's get started. Before we dive into the 2013 coin, let's quickly go over the history of the Australian 10-cent coin. This coin was first introduced in 1966 as part of Australia's transition to decimal currency. Since then, it has become a core part of the country's coinage, representing Australia's rich wildlife and cultural identity. Throughout the years, the reverse design of the 10-cent coin has featured various representations of Australia's natural heritage. One of the most prominent designs has been the superb lyrebird, designed by Stuart Devlin in 1966. This bird is known for its impressive tail feathers and ability to mimic other birds and sounds in its environment, making it a perfect symbol for the coin. Now let's take a closer look at the 2013 Australian 10-cent coin and see how it fits into this long-standing tradition. Looking at the design of the 2013 Australian 10-cent coin, we see the familiar superb lyrebird on the reverse side, with its beautifully detailed tail feathers spread out in a display of intricate symmetry. This design has remained on the coin for many years, and it's one of the most beloved and recognized motifs in Australian currency. On the obverse, we find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This particular portrait has been used on Australian coins since 1998 and is known for its detailed, realistic portrayal of the Queen. Now, let's check out the technical specifications of the 2013 coin. Metal composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel weight, 5.65 grams, diameter 23.60 millimeters, edge, milled minted by, Royal Australian Mint mintage. Approximately 42.5 million coins were produced in 2013. The 2013 issue had a significant mintage compared to other years, which means that while it remains widely circulated, it's still worth exploring its market value. So, what is the 2013 Australian 10-cent coin worth today? Well, like most modern circulation coins, its value in everyday use is its face value of 10 cents Australian dollars, around 5 to 7 US cents. If you find one of these in your pocket or wallet, that's how much it will be worth. However, things get more interesting when we start talking about the collector's market. Coins that are in uncirculated condition, meaning they've never been used for transactions and retain their mint shine and luster, are worth more. A 2013 Australian 10-cent coin in uncirculated condition could be worth around 1 to 2 Australian dollars, approximately 70 cents to $1.20, $1.50 USD. But the value can increase further if the coin is a proof version. Proof coins are specially struck with higher precision and have a smooth, mirror-like finish. If you happen to have a 2013 proof coin, you can expect it to be worth 5 to 10 Australian dollars, about $3.50 to $7 US, or possibly more if it's part of a limited edition set or series. As with any coin, error coins can be incredibly valuable. The 2013 Australian 10-cent coin is no exception. While the 2013 issue itself doesn't have any major or widely known errors, it's always worth checking your coins for any signs of unusual marks or imperfections. Some common types of errors you might find include off-center strikes, where the design appears misaligned; double strikes, where the coin has been struck twice, resulting in a blurry or overlapping image; die cracks or cuds, which can create interesting unintentional features on the coin. Error coins, particularly those that are rare or unusual, can often increase in value significantly. Depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error, a 2013 10-cent coin with an error could be worth 20 to 50 Australian dollars, roughly 15 to 35 US dollars, or even more in some cases. If you're serious about building your coin collection, here are some valuable tips that can help you get the most out of your collection. Examine your coins closely. Don't just glance at them. Take the time to look for potential errors, rare variations, or even just pristine, uncirculated examples. Store your coins properly. To protect your coins from environmental damage, use coin holders, albums, or slabs to keep them safe. Know the mintage. A lower mintage typically means that a coin is rarer, which can affect its long-term value. Stay updated with the market. Coin values can fluctuate, so it's a good idea to stay informed about the current trends and pricing. Consult experts. If you're unsure about the value of a coin or need a professional opinion, don't hesitate to reach out to a certified numismatist. Remember, coin collecting is as much about passion as it is about value. So enjoy the journey and learn something new every day. In conclusion, the 2013 Australian 10-cent coin may not have the same level of rarity or value as some other coins, but it's still a fascinating piece of Australia's modern currency. Whether it's a coin you find in your everyday change or a special piece of your collection, it's a great example of the rich, natural heritage and artistry that the Australian Mint continues to celebrate. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of GS Coins. If you've got a 2013 10-cent coin, be sure to check its condition and let us know in the comments if you found anything special. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos on rare coins, their values, and tips for collectors. Until next time, happy collecting, and always remember, every coin has a story to tell.